Yeah, super not exciting, very not fun, but vendor management is should be a big deal. It will very much be a big deal in 2025, mostly because if one of your vendors goes down, your operations will go down. I think the demand of already very understaffed teams is that you can't just do your questionnaire and checklist. I think going forward, the expectation will be you do continuous assessments on your vendors, their readiness with how their readiness fits into your own operational resiliency. And again, because you end up being the data advisor, as to how to be the best data steward, vendor management is going to be your ticket there to success. Again, not the most exciting, but likely the most important.
100%.
I'll go with data minimization. So I think that's another one, is looking across your data maps, if you have them, looking at the different products that you're developing or have already developed, data flows within those, and thinking through, at least running an analysis across all of those and saying, are we keeping the data that we need? Are we dropping the data that we don't need? What is our approach to minimization? I think at least at a floor level, you have to have thought that through.
I think both of those are great. So I think my point on that, which touches on both of those, is your contractual rights and obligations, right? So whether that's vendor management, whether that's with your terms, with your customers, potentially to Andy's point, we see data minimization becoming part of a requirement with respect to contracts. But I think we're seeing an increased focus on limitations of liability, indemnification, and frankly, look, there are certain companies that you contract with, and they may have an obligation to you with respect to damages, but if they're not good for it, is it worth the paper you signed, right? So to Ami's point, if you sign on a vendor or someone to do something and you operationalize it and they go down, but you can't actually get any there's no recourse in the sense that they don't have anything to give you. I think that is an important point and will become more and more important.
My parting thought on this, which I admit might seem self-serving now that I'm at TrustArc, but I would have said this even if I wasn't here, is leverage technology, right? There's a lot of low-hanging fruit stuff that just isn't worth the brain damage. Like there are certain things, like when you're creating a data inventory, like basic descriptions of your system, there is technology that can help you describe, what is a HubSpot or what is a Salesforce. You don't need to spend a bunch of time like wordsmithing something like that, right? So leverage technology to do things like that. Leverage technology for some of your more basic research questions. Go to your experts for the more important ones, but leverage tech to do the things that you simply don't have time to do anymore. Because we've talked a lot about how the role has changed, the amount of stuff has changed. That also means that we can't obsess over whether there's an Oxford comma in the right place sometimes. And instead, you really need to, I do that sometimes as well, but leverage your technology, leverage your stack, make sure you have the right stack and the right advisors like Andy's talked about. Because those two things can make a world of a difference in terms of how quickly you can move to adapt to this, shifting need. So that's my parting thought recommendation.